This is a simple and really versatile exercise, just a pole square, and you can see it begin by just walking over it. As you progress, you can start to make it a little bit more challenging, so going inside the box, turning a small circle, stepping outside, that sort of thing. Now you can see that I've raised the pole slightly. I've used potties, like you use to toilet train children, which are a really nice, cheap, easily available way just to lift the poles off the floor, which gives it a little bit more definition and makes sure the horse really having to lift their feet and work a little bit harder. So other exercises you can do are like one step over the pole. I do a lot of these to kind of build up a lot of body awareness with horses. This pony here, Rowan, is a rescue, and she was really, really frightened of anything touching her feet at the beginning. And these exercises were some that really helped with building her confidence around knocking things with her feet and things like that. It also helps to build up a huge amount of body awareness and proprioception and awareness of where their feet are. So there I was doing it with the front feet, but I do it with hinds with them as well. If you're happy walking, you can obviously pick up the energy a little bit into trot. And here I did a recall with Rowan and she just nailed it in canter, which was really, really cool. So you can also add in some circles, so a little bit of lunging. I'm doing all of this at liberty, but you can do it on a line as well. And here with Freckles asking him to trot over it around in a circle, and you can see that he found that a little bit difficult. It was a pretty windy day and he was pretty spooky about that hedge as well, which didn't help. But you can see after a couple of tries that he managed to figure it out. So you can really play around with it in lots of different ways. So here I'm working with Rowan on reins, so long reining or short reining, where you're working back at the saddle area, at the hip or behind them. This is really great for, young horses, but also for older horses as well, just kind of a different position to work with them from, and really making sure that your rein and voice cues are nice and solid. You can see it's interesting here that as I ask her to turn over the poles, that's when Rowan is more likely to knock them, because it's just a little bit more challenging, both from a body awareness perspective and, it takes a little bit more effort. So walking into the square and halting, making sure that my rein cues and voice cues are working, and doing some lateral flexions as well. So just asking her to stand still in the middle and bend to the rein cues. Again, really good preparation exercises for young horses before riding, and also really good for just working with ridden horses as well, and to make sure that they're able just to stand still and relax and wait for your cue to ask them to walk on again. It's really good. So here I'm doing the exercise where we go in and turn a small circle and go out. Now Rowan's quite small, so it's easier for her, but if you're working with a big horse, they might find this pretty challenging. So you might have to build up to it. And here asking her to turn, so she's on the inside of the turn and I'm on the outside, which again is more challenging. So begin while you're on the inside of the turn and then build up to being on the outside. Being on the outside of the turn is something that I build in a lot right from the start. I think it's really important that they learn it. Okay, so then I'm on Heather here and just showing you some exercises you can do ridden, beginning by walking round it. Doesn't have to be all over it, but starting off again, just walking nice and relaxed through the middle. It's great with these poles with the band in the middle, because you can really be clear about if you're in the middle, which I wasn't quite, or whether you're aiming for one side or the other, but it really helps to focus on your accuracy. And again here, just playing around with walking, bending and figures of eights through it, and it gives you and your horse just again another little exercise to focus on. How's your turning? Are you feeling connected? Is it easier to turn one side than another? How do you feel your weight is going? Do you find that your horse is struggling more in one direction? That sort of thing. And again, playing around with just different ways of adding in circles and bending over the poles. It's also really good for them physically, because they do have to really engage as they're bending and over the raised poles. So here going in and asking Heather for quarters over or a turn on the forehand. You can of course do this on the ground as well. So she did that pretty nicely, and you can see we get a nice little bend here to the right after it. She's bending really nicely, but as she comes into this one, you can see we get a lot more tension on this side and it's just all a bit stickier. So that's what I mean by just, assessing whether you and your horse are finding it easier one side or another. But no big deal, just something to kind of pay attention to. You might make it a bit easier until you can do it a bit more smoothly. And here I'm asking, instead of the quarters over, for her to move the shoulders over. Again, this is a small space to do it in, so it's quite challenging, but I just wanted to give you lots of ideas that you can play with your horse. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and it's given you some ideas. If you want to know more about how to train things like this, then please check out the CT Club, which is my online site where you get lots and lots of step-by-step tutorials. So in the gymnastic groundwork home study course, I really take you through building up a lot of these things step by step. So it begins by looking at understanding horses' movement, what we're looking for in terms of helping horses be healthy and how that works with positive reinforcement. And then it takes you step by step through exercises, beginning with leading, backing up, stretching down, the lateral flexions, which you saw, that sort of thing. And I also show you lots and lots of different pole exercises. So this is just the first one on poles and getting started. So overcoming pole fear, which I've told you Rowan features quite a lot in, working with a single pole, so how to train some of those 1 foot at a time exercises, different sorts of pole exercises, the pole square, which has got a lot more different exercises that you can do in there as well, how to teach things like backing over a pole, things like that. And then it goes on later in the course with more advanced pole and obstacle exercises too, as well as things like lateral work and teaching short reining, long reining, that sort of stuff as well. In the CT Club, you get instant access to all of these home study courses and support from real people as well. So that's myself and Rachel and CT coaches. We do lots of events every month where we do pretty much one a week, where you get to join us on Zoom. We have guest presenters, we have webinars, chats, Q&As, where you really can talk with us and ask your questions. And we also do study groups every month as well, where you get a specific topic and you can get feedback on your own training. This is all included free as part of the CT Club. So if you're interested in joining the club, head over to connectiontraining.com. You can find out more about us. And if you click Learn CT Online in the middle, you can find out more about the CT Club, and there's links there to join. And if you scroll down to the bottom of any page on the website, you can also sign up to get a free video guide, which really breaks down exactly how to use connection training with different types of horses. So if you're wondering, like, well, mine's fearful, or mine's pushy, or mine's young, mine's disinterested, that sort of thing, I give you specific tips for each type of horse, and that's all free as well. So you'll find that on the website. Thank you for watching and happy horse training.